Billionaires have never had it quite as good as they have these days. There's never been so many, and they've never been this rich. We might even have a trillionaire sometime soon. But you know who's always had it good? Those special set of people who never have to lift a finger, but find themselves in a life of luxury and comfort anyway. That's right, I'm talking about billionaire kids. So let's check out the daily lives of these billionaire kids. Oh, and if you think this is going to include having to work a paper route or in a fast food restaurant for an allowance, I suggest you read the title of this video again: The British Royal Family. Let's start it off with a pretty apt example. We're going to be talking about literal princes and princesses. I'm sure they live perfectly normal lives, right? Well, it turns out when you come from a royal family worth about $28 billion, a normal life is a bit of a tall order, I think. The British royal family have so much wealth, they are more likely to run out of descendants before they run out of money. They own several castles, mansions, and estates, all of which are incredibly decked out, and they just casually live in one of the most famous palaces in the world, filled to the brim with decadence and servants. Or if you asked one of the royal children, home. The royal kids have lived a life of luxury before they were even born. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle reportedly spent $800,000 preparing for their newborn Archie, which included a $43,000 baby moon and a $330,000 baby shower. Archie sure must have loved that pre-digested fancy food his mom was feeding him. As for the other royal children, Prince William and Kate Middleton's 3 kids, George, Charlotte, and Louis, well, they live perfectly normal lives as well. Nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. Nah, you know I'm kidding. For starters, Prince George is already worth $2.8 billion, and his sister is worth $4.3 billion. How do you like that? Literal billionaire children. But both Prince George and Princess Charlotte have an affinity for dance, and they take ballet at their school. They speak English, some Spanish, and learn French as well. And speaking of learning French, they do that at a top-notch institution called Thomas's Battersea School, where the curriculum is about as stiff as the $24,000 a year tuition. Other than that, they don't do many exciting things, being actual children and all. But when they're old enough to properly wield their billions of dollars, we'll be here to tell you all about the donuts they did with their Lambos in front of Buckingham Palace. The Carter family. Hopping from one royalty to another, we're going to talk about Blue Ivy and her siblings Sir and Rumi Carter, children of none other than Queen Bee and her husband Jay-Z. Both Jay-Z and Beyoncé are incredibly talented and successful musicians. They've amassed their wealth through decades of hard work and investments, granting them a combined net worth of $1.35 billion. Being the oldest and generally being alive longer than her siblings, Blue Ivy has experienced the kind of luxurious life neither of her parents had growing up. She's had a personal stylist since preschool, which is really clutch when you think about it. Her first birthday cost $300,000. Wouldn't want to show up for parties like that underdressed. Blue Ivy, Sir, and Rumi get to live in one of the multiple million-dollar mansions their parents own, all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. Or if they're lucky, they can find themselves past the coast. That is, if Jay-Z and Beyoncé rent a $400 million yacht again. By the age of 9, Blue Ivy Carter had already become a bit of a cultural sensation. She had already claimed the BET Soul Train Award twice and a spot on the Billboard 100. I don't even think I could whistle when I was 9. At such a young age, Blue Ivy has already found herself hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders with entertainment elites. She even followed her mom and dad to a New Year's Eve bash, attended by the stars, like Megan Thee Stallion. That's not the only celebrity she's met either. Blue Ivy has been attending award shows and premieres most of her life. So trust me when I say the list of celebrities she's met is long. About time she got her own little black book. Blue Ivy is slowly becoming more of a cultural icon. I mean, she's the daughter of America's favorite music couple. Plus, her name generates millions of hits on the internet. And who knows, she might just have a music career that upstages her mom. Gates family. Bill Gates is one of the best-known entrepreneurs of our time, being one of the tech pioneers that ushered in the microcomputer revolution after all. It's a little expected. He's the co-founder of Microsoft and has a net worth of $139 billion. He's spent that money pursuing many business and philanthropic endeavors. He's founded and chaired several companies. He's also spent that money raising his kids in the lap of luxury and giving them pretty fat allowances. Gates had 3 kids with his then-wife Melinda, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe Gates. And even though Gates is the fourth richest person in the world and has been the richest for a while, his kids aren't very much like most billionaire kids. For one, none of his kids were even allowed to have a cell phone until they were 14 years old. Pretty different from the teenage Arab billionaires stroking their pet lions on Instagram. And on top of that, Bill Gates even stated he won't be leaving his massive fortune to his kids. Instead, he's going to donate it. To where? You guessed it, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. How noble? The youngest of the Gates progeny is Phoebe Gates, the middle child Rory Gates, and the oldest one the media talks about the most is Jennifer Gates. Well, who am I to fight tradition? Jennifer Gates graduated with a degree in human biology from Stanford University in 2018. She's engaged to Nael Nassar, who is a professional Egyptian equestrian rider, and Jennifer herself is a professional equestrian too. Jennifer has benefited quite a lot from being a billionaire's kid. Not only did she have access to the peak of luxury, her family home was a $121 million mansion. She also had access to some of the best education money can buy, graduating from Stanford University and currently studying medicine. When it came time to pursue her love for horses, she didn't get the heartbreaking, "we can't afford a pony" speech most dads eventually give their little girls. Instead, the Gates family purchased $37 million worth of land in Florida, perfect for Jennifer and her horses. The house came with a 20-stall stable and a jumping arena for her to practice in, which is frankly quite the gift. Lord only knows what the other kids asked for that Christmas. Rashid Balhassa, Money Kicks. Next, we're going to talk about a special young man, Rashid Balhassa, or as he likes to call himself, Money Kicks. Son of wealthy Dubai business mogul Saif Ahmed Balhassa, a man who amassed a net worth of $2.1 billion from shrewd investments and being the chairman of Saif Bielsa Group. Rashid Balhassa, or Money Kicks, has two older siblings, both of which are professional footballers, and play for the UAE national team. Money Kicks went a different route though, and became a professional at flexing on people, opening his own YouTube channel and gathering a pretty healthy following. I'm talking 3.1 million followers. And no, I'm not jealous. He usually uploads snapshots into his luxurious life, hanging with celebrities, spending time in his insanely decked out home, or like I said, flexing on you. It's not all bad. Thanks to Money Kicks, I now know what the most expensive dog in the world looks like. Money Kicks lives in one of the most expensive homes in Dubai, so when he isn't out filming, he's usually home, filming. And boy does he have a lot to film. His house is large enough to fit an entire zoo filled with exotic animals. Lions, panthers, zebras, you name it. There are apparently 500 animals in total. Excessive? Maybe. I've been to zoos with far fewer, including the fish. So who knows? Growing up amongst the rich and famous. Naturally, Money Kicks has met quite a few celebrities, other than the ones he's featured on his YouTube channel, of course. Pictures of him with celebs like Nicki Minaj, Khloe Kardashian, and Rihanna circulate the internet as we speak. Of course, his life of luxury doesn't stop there. He is a rich kid from Dubai, after all. It is part of the culture to have a sick car collection, and Money Kicks does not disappoint. Even before he was old enough to drive, he was already showing off cars worth millions on his YouTube channel. One of these cars is his Ferrari F12 Berlinetta, and we all know you can't be rich without owning, or at the very least, driving a Ferrari. Yes, the advertising is that good. This Ferrari, though, is a little bit more special. Despite its 6.3-liter V12 engine, Money Kicks didn't quite think it fancy enough, so he went ahead and covered it completely with a Louis Vuitton full body wrap. I can't help but wonder, does that make it more or less valuable? Let me know in the comments. Money Kicks isn't just spending his parents' wealth though. He's well on his way to making his own massive wealth, with his growing celeb status and a net worth of $4 million. Soon, he'll be just as wealthy as his father, popping out his own billionaire kids. And the cycle continues. The royal family of Dubai. The Dubai royal family is led by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He's had 6 wives and 30 royal children, and together, the royal family is worth about $18 billion. You're not surprised, are you? These kids grew up with gold palaces, hundreds of servants, and super yachts you only get to see on the internet. They've all lived rather luxurious lives, as you can imagine. Although there is one member of the Dubai royal children that stands out the most, none other than the Crown Prince of Dubai, and his name is Fazza, or Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, for short. You can find Fazza on Instagram, flaunting some of that Dubai money. We're talking talking pictures of exotic vacations, massive yachts, and of course lots and lots of cars. Camels too. If you can ride it, it's probably on his Insta page. Speaking of, Fozza can be seen riding his 252-foot mega yacht he nicknamed the Smeralda. He nabbed this beauty of a sea vessel for the low price of $70 million. The yacht is big enough to hold 12 guests and 24 crew members. Fozza isn't the only one that's living the life with the family funds. Trust me, the Dubai royal family knows how to spend their own money, owning a Lamborghini and a Range Rover, both covered in solid gold. Now that's a status symbol if I've ever seen one. Now that's the extent of luxury just one of the rich children of the Dubai royal family enjoys. Unfortunately, we couldn't possibly go into detail about all 30 of them, so just use your imagination. Private jets, yachts, and adventures all around the world don't even begin to cover it. Much like billionaires, billionaire children come in all shapes and sizes, and it turns out not all of them are completely content with sitting at home and having the world handed to them. I mean, I would be. But hey, maybe that's why I wasn't born to billionaires. So who's your favorite rich billionaire kid? And no, you don't get to pick the toddler. That would be cheating. Please let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, do leave us a like.